What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? I am Fern, the creator and executive producer of Survifern and LRG, which is part of music festival and reality TV show, all combined into one. But we're here right now talking about the behind the scenes of building an LRG. We've been doing a little bit of a series where we go through some different topics, and today's topic is how to build your team. Okay, so the first thing you want to do if you're leading this project, figure out what your vision is. You need to be able to accurately display that to the people that you bring in to work on the project with you. So what type of game are you running? If you want to run a trader's game and someone comes in with the idea of, oh, but I want this to be more of like The Mole or Big Brother, well, then maybe you have to take a step back and be like, no, this is the vision.
Stop! You violated the law.
So figure out what you want to create first, and then you can start bringing people in, and when they come in, they understand the goal. And then the people can decide if this is a good project for them as well. Which will bring us to the next part, is the scale of the production that you're working on. The first year you do something, the first year we did it, we were a much smaller scale. Now that we're in our 4th season, the team has grown. We have like departments now, but like when you start from the beginning,
From humble beginnings,
you have to figure out what type of bandwidth do you have to create your team. So do you think you can handle leading 5 people, leading 10 people? Really understanding the size of the team will help you move forward from there. And then the other aspect is, do you think you can find those people? Yeah, you have friends. When I finished watching a round of Survivor, I text the same 5 people all the time, and it turns out those 5 people ended up being on production with me when I created my game. You want to find people who would be like creatively fulfilled to be a part of it, who would be excited. It's really important to get the right team members. One person who's passionate with you to create something is better than 5 people just phoning it in. So you find those people, whether you can find 4 or 5, whatever it is, now you need to start delegating your responsibilities. Whenever you're building an LRG, the game is crucial. When are you swapping? If you're swapping. When are you merging? If it's a game that has the merge. How do you vote players out of the game? Well, there's a whole bunch of different ways to eliminate contestants. How do you choose the winner? All these game design things you want to figure out, and then you can start delegating. Who's going to work on the challenges? Who is going to work on art department? Who's going to be the logistics manager that's going to run around all day to make sure that you're on schedule? You could do a lot with a small team as long as everyone has their role and you have each other for checks and balances. Just because my role is game design doesn't mean I can't have a lot of opinions when we talk about the challenges or we talk about location scouting. But if you only have a smaller group, you really need to be segmented and figuring out who has the responsibility for what and trust each other.
Et tu, Brute? Am I using that right?
And also listen to each other, because they're gonna give you good advice that you weren't thinking of. If you're at the point where you feel like you have a good, solid group of people around you, then you really need to figure out how you are structuring the hierarchy in your team. Is there one person who has like the final say? Are you a full democracy where everyone gets to vote on things? I always like being closer to the democracy side of things, because if I feel really passionate about something, but 4 of my team members are giving me an opposite opinion, me as the leader, I still have to take their opinions into consideration, because you can get clouded as the person in control with this like, no, it's my way or the highway.
Et tu, Brute?
You will burn your team out and you will lose your team if that's the case. So whoever is controlling the LRG from the top, they can't be the only ones making all the decisions if you really are trying to grow your game and make it bigger. If you just want to have like your game that's small and you play it and you have a great time, you totally can. And then you can be more of like the person in charge making the calls. But I do believe the way to grow is by having a little bit of concern of what the people around you are saying. Because everyone that's a part of this just wants to see the game go well. And that's the thing to really consider. No one's giving you an opinion because they want the game to fail. They're talking to you and telling you what they think because they honestly believe that's what's going to help it. So just always keep that in mind when you're going over any type of topic, any type of disagreement you might be having with your team. Everyone's coming at it from a place of, we want this game to be good. We want the players to have fun. We want it to be successful. We want to be able to do it again sometime. And if you can keep that kind of like center grounded, you'll be able to move forward together more. Cool. So if you figured out your kind of hierarchy and you are the person that's leading this charge, it's your game, and you still have people around you that care about it, you need to kind of figure out how to show your appreciation for people. For let's say if you don't go with their ideas sometime.
I love you.
So it's really important to make sure people feel heard and they feel like they're not just being dragged along to make your perfect vision happen. So one way that we do our best to shout people out in our game is we do a production diary series where we interview our production members and get their thoughts on the game.
We're gonna turn the bright lights on to kind of reveal that the players are there, and it's gonna blind the shit out of them. They're gonna hate it, but like, welcome to television, I guess.
I'm looking for my car keys. Hopefully I find them. Good luck.
Make sure I got
I am freezing cold and I have my sweats in there and I really want to put sweatpants on.
Oh my god.
Aziz, did you drink some water?
I did drink a lot of water after you told me to.
That's good. Today.
Drink a lot of water.
Nice.
A lot of water.
Chrissy, what are you going to do today?
We highlight what they've done with some social media posts. Like, there's fun, creative ways to really make your team feel like they're a part of something. Because the more people feel like they're with you, they'll ride and be there longer. Once they feel like they're being dragged along, like, you'll end up losing people. And you don't want to show up filming day and your morale is down. You really want to make sure your morale is as high as possible when you're going into things. Now, on the twist end of that, you don't want to just be pulled away so you lose that vision. So it's really going back to the first thing I said, just to make sure that everyone understands what the full goal is. So that way you can mitigate any hurt feelings that come along. But if I'm being real, it's not all roses and sunshine. There's going to be a lot of hard times through it where people will feel hurt. Let's say you get to your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th season, you're talking a couple years of working on a project with someone. Now it's like more than surface layer like connections. You guys know each other intricately. Think about working with someone at your job for 4 or 5 years. How has that gone? So you also really need to figure out how to like keep the romance alive inside the game, how to keep it special, how to keep that like super fun feeling of, hey, we're creating something and we're making something happen. And this is kind of like almost a dream of ours. It's a shared dream that you guys can push forward with. All right, great. We talked about all the touchy-feely stuff, which is super important. All right, so I'm going to go a little rapid round for you and just kind of talk about a few different parts of your team that you can have on an LRG. Art department. Whoever is around in your inner circle that you trust as a artistic person, they could be the person that comes up with your logo. And they could be the person that makes your challenges just look a little prettier. Who's crafting your challenges? That could be you. You could bring in a couple more people, but you also don't want too many people making the challenges because then that information can get leaked. You always want to hold that information. Same thing with game design. If you're creating the game, you can maybe bring 1 or 2 people into that, but it goes with it as well. The more people that know when the merge happens, the more people that knows the answer to all your riddles, the quicker it gets spoiled. So you have to do a really good job of finding the people that you can trust. In addition, you might want a few PAs on your team. A PA is like a production assistant, someone who's just great at filling in the holes wherever they need to be. They can make sure that you're logistically on time. Who's the person that's checking, hey, that challenge took 25 minutes and we allotted 20 minutes for it. If we do that again and again and again, we're going to be an hour behind schedule. It's really good to have those safeguards. And then my biggest recommendation is 1 or 2 people should be breaking every now and then. You don't want people working all throughout. You really don't. So if you can find a way to work in breaks for some people and have some like replacements come in, it would really help your team kind of get into more of a productive zone. Don't overwork your team so hard if you can help it. If not, if you're a small 4-person team and you don't have to wear 100 hats, go for it. It's super rewarding and fun, and just make sure you can have a sleep day when it's all done. All right, so that is just like a fundamentals look at how to build a team. You got to know what the philosophy is. You got to trust the people around you and really understand the scale of what you're trying to do. Because you could do a lot on your own. If you only trust yourself, you could do a lot with 5 people. And then once you bring it onto the bigger scales, well, maybe we'll do a video on how to manage a 20 to 40 person team, which is very fun. It is so much fun. I love doing it. I've been Fern from Survifern. If you're liking these videos, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you need to hear. If you have any questions, our season 2 will be out soon. You can watch it on our YouTube page, and season 4 will be filmed this summer. If you want to come to the filming of it, just let us know. We'll get you a ticket. One more time, thank you to AP Vibes for letting us be in your wonderful studio. We'll see you at the next video.